Judd, you're playing brilliantly, finishing off with 3 centuries. Must be delighted with this evening.
Yeah, I'm just trying not to miss at the moment. I think I've practiced a lot on something, and it seems to be paying off at the moment. I just need to go out and play like that every game, and it was nice for me to play like I did yesterday and then play exactly the same as I did today. So it's an improvement for me to keep it going every game, but there's still another 3 that I need to do to win the tournament.
Yeah, you've got to continue onwards and upwards. And your next match, Martin Gould, I think we both know that that's a tough one.
Anyone that can beat Mark Williams, you know they're playing well. So I've seen Martin play great against me before. He hardly missed the ball for the first 6 frames in the Grand Prix, so I know it's going to be a tough game, but if I can just go out and play like I am playing, then I've got no worries.
Martin, well done, a 5-0 winner, in contrast to your first match, which went all the way.
Yeah, definitely. Yesterday was always, well, it was always, no matter who you're playing, really, you're going to get a tough match. I was just pleased to get through yesterday against Mark. It was a real ding-dong battle. Tonight, I just went out there and everything that I saw went in.
Not seeing you quite as confident as this. It's a good sign.
Yeah, it is a good sign. Like I say, away from snooker, I'm really happy. I'm enjoying practicing. I'm up the club as much as I can be, and I'm just, like I say, I'm just really enjoying myself.
You're playing Judd Trump, and look, he's got a good record against you, but remember the match in North Wales last year in the World Grand Prix? You know you've got the game to beat him. He didn't quite get there that day. Thanks
for reminding me about that one. Yeah, I've been practicing really hard. I've been doing a lot of work with my coach, Stephen Feeney, using our Riley Sight-Right technology, and everything just seems to be falling nicely into place. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow night. It should be a real good game because Judd's on a bit of a high, I'm on a bit of a high, and all being well, it's got the makings of being an absolute cracker.
Let's hope so. Let's hope it is an absolute cracker. We're looking forward to it. And looking at the head-to-head, obviously Judd Trump, you would make a strong favourite, Neil, but you got the scent last night that Martin Gould's just feeling good about himself.
Well, that match, which he didn't want me to remind him about, I'm afraid he's going to get reminded a lot because there's been 3 occasions where he has had somebody on toast, and one was Neil Robertson in the World Championships, 11-5 up, and he booked out of his hotel. That game against Trump last year, 5-1 up in the semi-finals of the World Grand Prix, and he managed to lose 6-5, don't know how, and the worst one was in the UK Championship, 5-1 up against David Grace, who's a nice player, nice lad, but low in the rankings. Don't know how he lost, so he's got to get over the line. He's definitely got the game. I've got to just be seen. He's got to prove to everybody that he's got the extra bit to beat people and win tournaments, because he's a bit of a nearly man, like 1 or 2 others we've said, but he has found new ways to lose matches he should win.
And Judd Trump finished with a flourish last night, 3 tons. There seemed to be 2 schools of thought. He could come out firing again today, or he could be cold fish.
Well, when he came in here and spoke to us the other day, he said because Ronnie OSullivan and Neil Robertson's not in the tournament, he's sort of in the bag. You know, he was that confident, you know, disregarded Maguire and Selby, and he is playing his top of his form to make 3 centuries, nearly make a 147. He'll be very confident. He wants to win a tournament before Sheffield. So for me, if he carries on scoring, he's going to be really hard to stop.
Yeah. Is it in a match like that where there's a fair chance that one is a stronger player than the other generally? Does the start matter a lot, Ronnie?
I think the start's very important in the match. It kind of sets the tone. It kind of lets your opponent, you know, if you get on top of your opponent, you know, you're bossing them about, and then, you know, you just pick them off, really. So, but also, I mean, if you're a great player, if you go behind, you still have the ability to find a way back in the match. So I think the start's more important for Martin Gould than it will be for Trump tonight.
Yeah, because he had a maximum here last year, albeit in defeat, and he was pretty nigh on for one last night, I gather, until he was a bit unlucky on, I think, the yellow.
Yeah, he snooked himself on the yellow. He had a very hard cutback black. He was unlucky to snook himself, but, you know, he lost to Selby. Selby was probably one of the only players who could have beaten him last year with him having 147, but, you know, Selby just took no notice of that and won the match 5-4.
Yeah, and we shouldn't overlook someone like Stephen Maguire either. We obviously watched him last night. It was too good for Mark Selby last night, and if he can carry that through, he's in the mix, isn't he?
It would be craziness to overlook him, because he is very much a tournament winner still, and has been for the last 12 years or so, and he's probably not won as many as he should, but he's picked up silverware. He's won the UK Championship. He could have won the Worlds one year. Ronnie beats him in the first round. I know that sounds a bit strange to say could have won it, but I think if he'd have beaten Ronnie, he may have won it that year. and he was 9-7 up on Mr. O'Sullivan along there, and that would have been his year. And he lost to John Higgins. He's the real deal, but he's probably not won as many as he should for a player of his abilities.
Yeah, opportunity definitely knocks for 1 or 2 here in Berlin. Friday night, lots to look forward to. Good crowd in. They do love the snooker here in Berlin. The auditorium filling up fast, and Trump and Gould will be with you very shortly. .co.uk, by the way, is the website address to keep in touch with all the happenings here in Berlin tournament-wise. Eurosportplayer.co.uk if you want to watch in various forms, and of course, as I mentioned earlier, at Eurosport UK TV if you've got a question or a statement. We haven't even mentioned Luca Brecel and Mark Joyce, whose name I think I mangled earlier, so apologies to Mark, but what about that one?
Yeah, Luca Brecel, if he can just brush up on his technique, get a little bit tighter, he's got all the ability, all the shots to do fantastic things in the game. Mark Joyce is a very compact type player. I watched him play Judd Trump in a qualifying match at Barnsley last year, and I was on the next table, and he was faultless for 3 frames on a 60 break to go 4-0 up. Trump then makes 2 or 3 centuries, and it was one of the best 5-4s you'll ever see. So this guy can play, and it wouldn't surprise me if he beats Luca Brecel tonight, because he is an all-round solid performer and can score, a bit of cue power.
Got the game. I suppose they've all got the game. That's we take that for granted almost, really, and players about to make their entrances in the auditorium. Rolf Kalb, the German MC, will bring them out very shortly. Any upsets, I suppose, can you see, Jimmy? Can you see Trump struggling against Gould, for instance?
Gould can win, obviously, but I just think Trump should be too strong for him. Luca Brecel might be under a little bit of pressure because he thinks this is his opportunity to win a big tournament. Kyle Wilson's won one this year, but Maguire, Mr. Stats here, Mr. Folds, has said that Graham Dott's got a really good record against Maguire, which I was quite surprised.
That's true, yeah, it's true. And just on the thing that Ronnie was saying about Mark Joyce, he said this afternoon he played the best snooker of his life to win. So he comes into the night session in good form, made 2 centuries.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, we haven't hardly mentioned Graham Dott, but clearly playing well, up and down maybe in recent times, given that he's a world champion, but naturally has an opportunity. All these players have an opportunity now that there's the 8 that remain. The last 2, of course, waiting for their special entrance, given that they play on the main table in the middle of the auditorium. Martin Gould, opportunity knocks for that man. Judd Trump, of course, will fancy his chances. He's the tournament favourite by a little bit as things stand here in Berlin. Appreciative audience, as I mentioned. Let's hear from our commentators for this one. Joe Johnson, former world champion, alongside Dave Hendon.
Thank you, good evening. Well, it's pretty much a full house here, not far off in the Tempodrome this evening. And if it's anything like the quarter-final night this time last year, they're in for a treat. All 4 matches went the distance, including Judd Trump against Mark Selby. Trump had the maximum but lost out. Martin Gould here hoping to cause an upset. It would be an upset, I think, the way Trump played last night, finishing off with 3 centuries in 3 frames against Sangander. These 2 players love to attack. Martin Gould predicted it would be a cracker. Let's see if he's right. Still best of 9.
All the best to you. All the best.
Michael Kessler is the referee. Martin Gould is going to get us underway.
First frame, Martin Gould to break.
So Martin Gould to break in frame 1 of a possible 9, playing for a place in the semi-finals of this German Masters. And although Trump is the favourite, we've had a lot of upsets during this tournament, not least before we even got to Germany. Quite a few of the big hitters lost in Wigan, so we shall see how it transpires. But I know that Joe Johnson is looking forward to watching it here this evening.
Yes, sure am. The way that Judd Trump's been playing, well, it could be fireworks this evening. It was interesting to see Martin Gould talking confidently. He said that they're both coming into this match full of confidence, and why shouldn't they? 2 great players. 2 very attacking players. Martin at the table, he has been in the top 16. I think he was number 11 at his best. And he's not far away now, he's ranked number 20.
Yes, and he's been in a ranking final this season, Gould, Australian Open, back in July in Bendigo. Just lost out 9-8 to John Higgins. Didn't really get a chance in the decider either. Real high-quality match, that.
Yeah, great match. I've been very impressed with Trump's safety play this week. He has scored heavily, but he's played very good safety shots when he's needed to. He's even refused difficult pots, which is not like him. Good pace on the cue ball there from Martin Gould. And just got to be careful to hide that red over the left corner.
Yes, what Trump was saying this week was that he needs to be more consistent because, yes, he's played well so far, but he played well at the Masters. Remember the match against Neil Robertson? Sensational. But then in the semi-finals, he lost to Barry Hawkins, and he said he needs to back up these performances. He actually said, like Neil Robertson did at the UK Championship, try and produce that quality in every round, not just in a couple of the early rounds.
He's pushed one over the corner. He's pushed one over both corners. Can Judd Trump see either of them? Well, that's a real let-off for Martin Gould. The way the reds are spread there, that could have been under frame. Caught too much of it in the end. Looks like he can just about pot it. Again, he's caught it too thin. Maybe he couldn't pot it.
Big night here, of course. We go down to one table tomorrow. The 8 players, as we see the shot again, all looking to get through to that wonderful atmosphere when it's just the one table in the middle of the arena.
Well, that had to go in. He had no idea what was happening to the cue ball.
One.
Tremendous pot. But very unfortunate where the cue balls landed.
I think it's quite difficult for Trump how to approach it sometimes. You know, he made his name as an ultra-attacking player. He won the China Open, got to the World Final, very nearly became world champion playing that way. But, of course, if they're not going in, people say, well, that's a bit reckless, that's a bit, you know, casual, and sort of criticise him for that. So, in a way, you can't win, really, unless you do win, of course.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. You're quite correct. And that's why people love to watch him play, because he does go for those extraordinary shots. But a lot of the time they go in.
But also, Joe, if he starts turning a few down, people say, well, that's a bit negative of Judd. Why isn't he going for his shots? So you can't win, really.
No. Just keep doing what he's doing. My money. Well, this is a tough one. And again, he had to get that. Now he's relying on luck. Tough shot. Seemed to go down into the pocket and back out again. But he's been fortunate. This red to the right centre, well, very tough. And he'd have to play it slow. Yeah, well, had to play safe. And that's what I'm saying about Judd. He kind of knows now when to play safe. I've seen the day when he would have took that on to the middle. Then maybe he would have got it. But almost certainly he would have lost the frame had he missed it. A good decision.
Seven minutes played, one ball potted.
Yes, and the black and pink not in good positions at the moment. You can get to the black. It has a pot of red. It's not in an ideal place. He's just having a look now. If he takes the red on to the left corner, would he be able to pot the black? A pinner potter. Great potter. Last shot has brought the black into open play and put a little bit of pressure on Martin Gould. No easy path back to baulk now. Had to take it on. Now is he going to get fortunate again? Well, it could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse. Yes, there was lots of pressure on that shot. No, I think he's got an easy starter. So the first real chance, it goes to Martin Gould.
There's been such a build-up to this match about how it's going to be an all-out potting affair. It's almost like they're trying too hard to make that happen.
One.
But Gould's in here with a chance to get going. And he's a very tough character, Martin Gould. Not one to be underrated, for sure. He has had a couple of setbacks, as been mentioned, in terms of losing a couple of matches from in front. But that applies, frankly, to most players. It's just that his were particularly high profile.
Five.
Remind us what the head-to-head is. I know he was well in front of Judd on one occasion and lost.
Yeah, well, it's 6-1 to Trump, and the match you're referring to is at the World Grand Prix last year when he was 5-1 up in the semis.
13.
Lost 6-5, and on that occasion, that was Trump's safety game that got him through. He played some terrific tactical snooker. It wasn't as if Gould was fluffing chance after chance. It wasn't that scenario at all. He's coming to the table, White was on a cushion, or it was just awkward.
20.
Yes, that's the thing when you're playing great players. They're never dead, are they? There's always a chance that they're going to come back.
21.
this is a great chance.
26.
Take this opening frame.
27. 32. 33.
1 of those meetings between them was here last year. In the last 16 round, Trump won that one 5-1.
38. 39.
Well, he's really underhit that one. Maybe he got a kick which took the pace out of the cue ball, but he's well short on the black. It was the red previously, though. He didn't get the right side of the blue, which left him awkward on the next red. That's a good recovery shot, though. Got the cannon to the red, and he's held nicely.
46.
First frame of the night is going to Stephen Maguire against his fellow Scott Brown Dot. Maguire played very well last night against Mark Selby, and whoever wins that match will play the winner of our feature match.
Couldn't have played that any better. Absolutely spot on, perfect on the blue. Can play for choice of reds.
Trump had a couple of chances. This was the most recent of them.
Fifty-three.
Could have done with just a little bit more pace in the cue ball there.
60. Sure.
Well, this is the ball that he needs to leave Trump a kind of snooker. Having the cue ball cleaned.
Good start this from Martin Gould. Applause from the crowd for game ball. Great crowding again this evening.
$68.
Just checking the scoreboard. Well, this is what you've got to do when the top players miss. You've got to punish them. Open think.
$76. 77.
Martin Gould, a former casino croupier, hoping to hit the jackpot here this week. It's a big chance for someone, isn't it? There's only one top 16 player in the quarterfinals. That's Judd Trump. So everyone here will be quietly fancying their chances, including the man at the table.
84.
Just over
85.
Doesn't need to do anything fancy, just drop the black in. Try not to snooker himself behind the blue. Needs to slow down.
$92.
Nicely played. And just the black for the century.
Well, Judd Trump finished last night against Sangander with 3 consecutive centuries. Martin Gould is about to start with one this evening. Excellent break it's been as well. Hasn't got on the yellow, but he's got the century.
100.
Yeah, good break that from Martin Gould. Great start for the Londoner.
And the first frame.
Couple of misses on either side, and then Gould got in, killed the frame off very nicely indeed. So Martin Gould in front here in Berlin. He leads Judd Trump at the Tempodrome by 1 frame to 0. Quarterfinals night here at the German Masters. Stephen Maguire leads Graham Dott 1-0. Kyron Wilson leads Ryan Day 1-0. Mark Joyce leads Luca Brissell 1-0. And in the feature match here, Martin Gould is 1-0 up against this man, Judd Trump.
Judd Trump to break.
Trump practiced all over Christmas, determined to have a good second half of the season. He was going well at the Masters until he lost in the semis to Barry Hawkins. But in general, his form has been excellent the first few weeks of this year.
Yeah, good shot. It was a good break-off from Trump, but he left a red sticking out. And the players these days, they just seem to not miss in for fun.
Well, this is the problem, isn't it, Joe? Trump's form might be great, but there's a lot of other players playing really well also.
Yeah, he's full of confidence, you can tell that, Martin Gould. It's when something goes wrong, that's the time you find out who really is playing well. He's overscrewed it by a distance.
3.
So from that great long red, it looks like he's only going to make 3.
Yeah. Tap.
He's pushed the red to the corner.
Martin Gould 3.
A fraction harder, and it would have been really easy. Had to go for it, but it looks like he's left it on. Had it kissed the red full ball, it wouldn't have been on an easy colour. The blue looks easier. It's awkward queuing over the blue if he takes the black.
Six. Seven.
Well, he's got choices here. He can go into them, or he could play for that red directly above the black spot. And if he can leave it low on the red, oh well, has he hit it hard enough?
12.
I think his plan was to leave the cue ball low so that he could pot the red and open the reds up. Difficult to say if you can see enough of that red. Well, maybe this time he'll go into the reds. Nice angle on the black to bust the reds open. He could play for the loose one, but the positive shot would be to go into them. Well, how's your luck? Could have been better.
20. Martin Gould, 20.
Very unfortunate there. Martin went into the at pace and just wasn't on anything.
If you're just joining us, Martin Gould leading 1-0 here against Judd Trump in the quarter-finals of the German Masters. Gould made a century, 100 exactly, excuse me, exactly in the first frame. At least 23-0 here in the second. Trump's just got him in a little trouble here, though, on the back cushion. Red spread. Judd Trump had a couple of chances first frame.
Yes, couldn't play anything else but the containing safety shot. It's risky to take the cue ball into balk, but he could play that shot off this red off the left side cushion. Could also try and get the cue ball back to where it is now. Just looking to see where he could place that cue ball and not leave the red onto the middle. Got to get the speed right here, otherwise he leaves the red on. And that looks good to me. Good pace. And even if you can see the red to pot it, it doesn't appear that there's a colour. Looks like the cue ball's going into the other red, so just the containing safety shot. Yep, it's another good safety. And he's in the same problem that he was the last time round. If he plays that cue ball into balk, he's got to get it right. Otherwise Trump will be able to pop that red to the left middle. Could go for the pot. Probably thought he had no option. Now, what's the damage? Has he covered the red over the middle? I don't think he has.
One.
So, Judd Trump gets his chance. Didn't want the kiss. Wanted to just skim past that
Eight.
red. Still has a red to the left middle, but this is a little bit more difficult. He doesn't want to hit the brown.
Nine.
And that's exactly what he did. Is it hard enough? Just. He played it dead weight just in case he missed it. And he blocked the pocket with the green, but it was almost
12.
too slow.
Thirteen.
Sprung off the cushion.
20. 21.
And Trump will want to do what Martin Gould did in the last frame. Win the frame in one visit.
Well, he's this season's Trump. This season's
28.
leading century break maker. As we see this very tough red that he attempted, Gould. Trump's had 30 centuries this season. In fact, he made more than anyone else last season, 82.
29. $32. 33.
Well, he may play the cannon to the red by the pink. Doesn't need to. Looks like that red next to the pink will go anyway.
40.
We'll
41.
soon find out. If it doesn't go, then I'd expect him to play the cannon to the pink, the red next to the pink. 18 points in front. He's going to need that red. Well, he did catch it, and he may have pushed it into a potable position.
48.
Oh, he's too hard. It's going to have to be the blue or the green. He's going to keep the break going. Looks like he can pot that red, but the pink certainly doesn't go. Oh, he got a kick. He got a big kick there.
Judd Trump, 49.
Oh, he's been fortunate. He's covered the red next to the pink.
Well, he's been unlucky, and then he's been lucky. So Trump leads by 26 in this second frame.
That's a clever shot by Martin Gould. Just stopping the cue ball behind the blue. Doesn't want to bring this red off the cushion. Felt he had no choice. Well, that's another very good safety. But again, he may have forced Judd Trump into taking the red on a fraction slower. They've got the snooker. Yeah, good pot.
1.
Great pot. Well, it wobbled, but it dropped. Needs a red and a colour.
6.
Yes, anything above the yellow.
7.
It's a frame where he's had to work hard. It hasn't been all flair and exhibition stuff, but snooker most of the time isn't like that. It's hard work. One snooker needed.
12.
27.
Judd Trump, 12.
Again, that's a clever shot, that, from Judd Trump. Hitting the red from behind, leaving the cue ball close to the cushion. Well, this could be okay as well. Well, if that's a snooker, it's not easy to hit this. Just caught the red. Problem with coming off that right side cushion, he's got to judge the side on the cue ball. It's not a natural angle. Nicely played. Well, he could play the red onto the brown or yellow and try and stun in behind the black. I think he's going to try and use the jaws of the green pocket. Good effort. Yes, he played the snooker as well, though. Got very close to the pot. Gould's got to hit this, get it safe. Well, Trump will be delighted to see the black go there. Martin needs that black. 38 points the difference. Needs the black to win by 1, so maybe push this right over the pocket. The snooker again is a bonus.
Yes, Gould has lost control of the table here. He put Trump in a couple of decent snookers, but he's in one himself now.
They'll be delighted with that. Well, that was a strange shot to play. I thought he would have just played the red on to the ball cushion, trying to get the cue ball in behind the blue. Guaranteed to get the red safe at least. But that is the end of this frame.
Oh, well, he's come unstuck with his logo.
6.
That's one way to bring it to its attention.
As I say, he's had to graft in this frame, but he's won it, and he's now nicely settled into the match.
Yes, and I do like the way that
11.
he tries to play position once the frame is won. I mean, it was a great shot to get onto the green the way he did. Everybody expects something.
Judd Trump, 11. And
So
frame.
Judd Trump levels up here. Martin Gould in the first frame with a century. And Judd Trump makes it all square here in Berlin. 1 frame apiece. Welcome back. Judd Trump 1, Martin Gould 1 here. Quarter-finals evening at the Tempodrome in the German Masters. And for this frame, I've been joined by the whirlwind himself, Jimmy White. Good evening, Jimmy.
Hi, David. How are you?
Just move your microphone a little closer so we can hear you.
Help, yeah.
How are you enjoying the week?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. I think Martin Gould started off like a train there, and I don't quite understand why he tried to put that red in the middle. I thought he just play a containing shot. He's let Trump back in, and he's won each.
Frame
but
3.
Both seem to be cueing very well.
Martin Gould to break.
Third frame of a possible 9, playing for a place in the semi-finals tomorrow.
I think Trump would just try and play a safety shot here, try and hit this red thin, try and bring the white back up between the yellow and brown. Not a bad kiss.
Myself and Joe were saying that Judd has had to learn the safety game, but he has learned it, hasn't he? He plays a very high standard tactical game now.
You have to, you know, I had to sort of learn my safety from, you know, getting so many batterings from Steve Davis. If I was to beat Steve Davis, you know, if I won like 10-8 or wherever I only won by the odd frames because Davis's safety was so good. So I think Trump has learned, you know, O'Sullivan's probably one of the best safety players we've got. So Trump has to have a good safety game to compete at this level. Oh, got a bit of a bounce there.
Martin Gould, he's a bit of a quiet assassin, isn't he? You don't get much emotion from him, but he doesn't hold back. He goes for his shots.
Tremendous play. He's had a few bad results. You know, he's 11-5 up with Neil Robertson when Robertson won the World Championships. And this year's UK Championship, me and Ronnie O'Sullivan thought he might have gone on to get to the final and give Robertson a game. But he was 5-1 up, I think, with David Grace and lost 6-5. And also, he was 5-1 up with Trump and lost 6-5. So that'd be playing on his mind.
Problem is, with results like that, they follow you around, don't they? No one ever talks about the matches where you've been 5-1 up and won 6-1.
Absolutely,
but they remember
yeah.
when you've come back, when the other guys come back.
Yeah. But I think it's only always missed that altogether. It's
Foul. And miss.
not done too much damage, I don't think, unless he can pot this
Martin
red in the
Gould
middle. He
4.
might put him back, I'm not sure.
Big please. Yeah.
I think they're going to get it on the screen just to make sure.
Yeah, I don't think it was that close to the cushion, but also not as close to the brown as the referee put it.
Yeah.
Fantastic shot.
What do you make of this venue, Jimmy? You played all around the world in various places, but it's pretty special, isn't it?
I've played here a couple of times. I've also played OSullivan here in a couple of exhibitions, and it's a fantastic venue. Wherever you sit in your touring, you can see all the 5 tables. So it's, you know, when they produce a German player, I think this will be a regular a regular event. Gould's hit that too thick and stuck Trump up now, so from having the advantage, and it's giving it straight back to Trump, which you can't do.
And he knows it.
Nice shot there, beautifully controlled. I don't know if the pink goes on the blue spot. He wouldn't mind it going on the blue spot for a minute. I might go on the black spot.
Eight.
And Trump there looking at the two reds on the pink spot. If you can clear that, get the pink back on its spot. If the pink goes, I'm not sure if it goes in either pocket. It might go in both pockets. Can't tell from this position.
Got such a quick brain, hasn't he? I mean, he's been playing snooker since he was 6 or 7, not just playing, bashing balls around, but playing in tournaments, junior events against other real good talents, and he's now 26. That's 20 years of playing competitive snooker.
Yeah, it's only the last sort of, he nearly won the World Championship when he lost to Higgins by just going for pots after pots. But he's realised that he's had to rein it in and learn a bit of safety. I played him
20. When
he was 13 years of age in an exhibition in his club. And he was telling me that he was practising...
21.
He practised in snooker, and then in the afternoon he was practising a bit of 9-ball. Because 9-ball was getting quite popular at the time, and I just thought, well, that's probably why he was hitting the balls too hard for the first few seasons, because they're playing a lot of 9-ball. But for me, Trump's improving
27.
by the season, and big contender for the World Championships this year.
Yes, well, when he was 13, he won the
28.
Pontins Open at Prestatyn, the big open event, which included a lot of professionals. In fact, he beat our own Mike Hallett in the final. Just 13.
Wow, Mike would be pleased with that.
I think the prize was a bottle of champagne. He was 5 years off drinking it.
Yeah, it wasn't
33.
allowed. He's just going to drop this red in here and hope to find the gap for the pink. And just drag it in.
34.
He might play the cannon on the two reds here, or yeah, played it nicely. Great shot.
$40.
Just stun this red in, stun onto the other red for the pink in the middle.
$41.
With average shot times, it's no great surprise, really, that Trump is quicker, but he's missed the pink. That's a surprise.
I don't know if
The
you got a
Trump
bad
41.
contact there. If you look where the cue ball was finished, David, maybe he may have got a bad contact, but a big miss there.
Sure.
Well, Martin Gould hasn't taken advantage. Trump's asking for the white to be cleared, and I think he did think he got a bad contact on the pink.
Yeah, I don't think Gould got a kick there. I think it was just a bad miss, really. So you can't sort of miss easy opportunities like that against players like Trump, because they just get stronger and stronger.
Yeah, and also, of course, you want Judd Trump in his seat thinking about the pink rather than immediately back at the table.
Absolutely. You know, Selby would have took, so much time to make sure that he got that red, just because exactly what you just said. But Trump's Missed one there, got away with it. Very fortunate.
The only problem with playing as well as he did last night is everyone expects him to carry on like that today, but, you know, he played to such a high standard, 3 centuries in the last 3 frames. It's pretty tough to just carry on doing that frame after frame.
Yeah, and also, by nearly getting a 147, missing the yellow, but even though it's brilliant snooker, 3 centuries on the trot, that would have been a bit disappointing for him. So, you know, he's coming out today expecting to play to that standard again, and it's not quite happened yet. He can get through to this red by the looks of Martin Gould's body language there, so Martin Gould should be behind the yellow here. And played the pot. Well, that was one of mine, David. Completely hit it the wrong side altogether. I've just done a... Martin Gould, for a second, his game has just collapsed, and well, definitely lost this frame for me.
Well, what's odd is he made a century first frame. It's not like he's played bad all night.
Absolutely, brilliant century as well. He was quite some fantastic balls, so he's obviously curing okay. He tried to hit that thin, thought it miles too thick.
Six. Seven.
Just stunned down now for the red by the pink. A little bit short, so I'll be playing the red in the middle.
12.
49 in front, so I think 3 more reds, 3 colours.
13.
Yes, Martin Gould could have got him under some pressure. The century proved how well he was playing, but
18.
Trump has been allowed into this match, hasn't he?
Absolutely, you know, it happened with Stuart Bingham. You know, he won the first 2 frames of both his matches.
19.
And then let the player off. And you know, with these top players, if you don't punish frame, and then they're banging the match. For me, Gould went for a red in the left-hand middle of the second frame, which had no
25.
need to do. No value, even if it went in. Left trump, banging the ball. So, advantage all trump now.
26.
Yes, and that red should secure it. Already snooker's needed. And the danger now, of course, is he starts to play really well for the rest of the match.
Yeah, it starts to score 1 visit frames, and it's he's in trouble a bit, Gould. I think he needs to win this 4th frame
32.
to have any chance.
$33.
Oh.
Shouldn't matter, he's 70 in
The
front.
trump,
Martin Gould is going to
33,
stay in his chair.
and
So
the
having
frame.
made such a good start with the century, things have just slightly gone wrong for the Londoner. And Judd Trump has won 2 on the spin. Nothing dramatic from him, but he's won the 2 frames. That's the most important thing for him. And he leads here 2-1. And there's a big frame coming up now, the last before the interval. Martin Gould trying to level up. And Judd Trump trying to get himself 2 clear as they go to the break. Frame 4 of a possible 9. Judd
Thank
Trump
you.
2-1
Frame
up
4.
against Martin Gould. This is the last
Judd
before
Trump
the
to
interval.
break.
So some other scores for you. Graham Dott has gone 2-1 in front against Stephen Maguire in the All-Scottish affair. It's 2-1 to Luca Brissell against Mark Joyce, and it's 1-1 in the other match between Ryan Day and Kyron Wilson. Kyron Wilson only had about 90 minutes between matches. Of course, he beat Michael Holt 5-4 earlier. He's back on tonight for another match.
Yeah, it's always good to get the thoughts of the whirlwind. Still plays a very good game, I can tell you.
It's clear Jimmy still loves snooker as well, doesn't he? He absolutely loves it.
Yeah, he'll carry on playing until he can't see. And he'll have his fans forever. This looks pretty good. Nicely played. So twice across the table, trying to land up into the pack of reds. Looks good. Good escape.
Ryan Day's gone 2-1 up against Kyron Wilson.
Yes, and what a nice little flick to leave the cue ball behind the green. Didn't want the kiss on the blue, that would have been a disaster. As it is, pretty good safety. Maybe forced into taking this red on. Certainly got the cue part. Well, can you see enough of the red? Closest to the pocket. That's what he was addressing there. Well, he'll settle for that. It could have gone anywhere, this.
It's virtually a full house, but they're very respectful, aren't they? They don't sort of whoop and holler. They respect the players, are engrossed in it.
Yes, great crowd. And very knowledgeable.
Well, it's a great buzz just around Berlin itself. I had occasion to very briefly go into a local bar the other night, and because I was wearing my tag, my accreditation tag, when the bloke saw it, he said, "Oh, snooker!" Really excited the fact that the tournament was back in town. Meanwhile, Trump's lining this one up, but has not potted it.
Yeah, I think he can count that a let off. He expected to pot that, and he was on the black. So, chance now for Martin. He'd like to go to the interval 2 each. And this is a good chance with the red spread as they are.
Yes, and I think what he has to tell himself is that Trump hasn't played well yet, really. He's not had any breaks to speak of. 2 frames he won were a little disjointed, so Gould, he's made a century, knows he's queuing well himself. Got to focus here for this visit.
Judging by the face he wasn't sure either.
Thank goodness these cloths are quick. Speaking of which, Joe, that one at the seniors at the weekend that you played on, that was quick, wasn't it?
Yeah, not kidding. That's the fastest thing I've ever played on, ever. I think it was fast last year, but it was ultra fast this year. Lovely to play on. Just not used to a cloth that fast. Yeah, I think he's covered himself. He gives it the thumbs up, but he didn't really need it. 8. Was it a big bounce? Or was it just a miscalculation? He's going to try and keep the break going.
Martin Gould, 8.
That's a great pot. Just letting the crowd settle down before he takes the black.
Yes, they were applauding Graham Dott, who's gone 3-1 up on Stephen Maguire, who played so well against Mark Selby. So Dott going well there as they head off to the break.
8. Nine. Fourteen. 15.
That didn't quite work as planned. It's finished pretty much dead straight on the blue.
And again, it's so important to get the right side of the blue. for a left-handed player, the safest shot would be right into the green pocket. Very nearly missed the red, and that's why he's lost the cue ball. Surely you can't get through the gap of those reds and pot the black. Yeah, the problem is that he may be able to pot the pink, but there isn't a red available. So just a safety.
Judd Trump, 21.
Well, it went wrong, really, where he came straight on the blue and just found it harder to keep going after that. Just a slight shake of the head from Judd Trump. Bit disappointed to have made just 21 from that chance. Still hasn't quite imposed himself on the match. He's in front 2-1, but he hasn't got flowing like he did last night.
Red's coming back down. And if it had got the cue ball where he wanted, he'd have left an easy red on. With the cue ball in behind the yellow. Still maybe possible to the middle, but it's a much tougher shot. Yeah, nicely played. It caught that near angle, but still dropped in. Another good chance this for Martin Gould. Didn't want the kiss.
5.
Unless it was a little bit harder. He's out of position. Well, no, he isn't. He can pot the red. I didn't think he could. But still very difficult from there to get to a colour. He's going to need the spider. And he's going to have to try and play it with a touch of side with the spider to come out for the pink. This is awkward. The rest on top of the spider. Anything else? Don't try this at home.
No, this is where you need steady hands. Let's see how steady they are.
Won't say that often. Yeah, didn't get any side on the cue ball. The side would have thrown it wide and he'd have been on the pink, but it was very risky to play it with side.
6. Green ball.
So that was a good chance. Potted a good brown, but lost the cue ball.
Martin Gould 6.
So a rather scrappy frame, this 7 points in it. I think they're both mindful. It's the last one before the interval. Trump knows 3-1 is a good lead. Gould knows 2-2. He's still very much in it. Well, another match is just going to the interval. Luca Brissell and Mark Joyce 2-2. Joyce has just won the 4th frame.
Martin Gould 4.
A fraction harder, he'd have left the red on to the left corner.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like he can see a red full ball, so he needs to hit it this time. Caught the middle pocket knuckle, and that helped it towards the reds. That was an excellent shot. He just played slightly off the bump. But he left a red on, and he's under-hit it.
1.
Yeah, he'd be kicking himself there. He may still be able to pot the pink, but the next red's not going to be easy. That's an excellent positional shot.
7.
Yes, as I said earlier, he's got to tell himself, you know, Trump is not firing. Judd Trump's pot success, he's 83% at the moment. You know, you won't win many ranking quarterfinals with that sort of
8.
percentage. So Martin Gould knows that there's an opportunity here this evening. There it is. He's in front, as you can see, on 88. But that could go up here in this visit. Long pot success for Trump, 10%. He's potted just 1 out of 10 from distance. So that's another worry for Trump fans. Gould at 40, as you can see.
15.
And there's the safety. That does favour Trump. That's good, but he's not converting success at safety into making breaks, and certainly being as fluent as he was last night. But of course it's down to your opponent to take advantage.
$22.
19 points the lead. And he's just having a look at those 3 reds all bunched together there. That's very tight. But he's played for it, so it must go.
23.
Would have liked to have been top side of the pink. And maybe nudged those 3 reds. They try and hit them off the cushion. Or he could play for the loose red. Tried to hit them. And that's worked out very nicely. Crowd like that one.
29. $30.
Just see Kyron Wilson peeping round there. He's about to go 3-1 down to Ryan Day. But is this match about to go 2-2? Red colour, red needed.
I didn't think that was in. I thought that was going to stay out. Just caught that near knuckle, and they normally stay out. As David said, just needs another red. And if he's straight on this red to the yellow pocket, it shouldn't be too difficult.
45.
Just checking the scoreboard. The red would leave Trump needing 2 snookers. Again, catches that near draw at Breckton.
Just make sure this pink as well for the points. And it should be 2-2. Strange sort of match in a way. Gould made the century first frame, then he seemed to go a little into his shell. Trump
52.
took advantage, won the next 2, but this has been a good contribution from Gould. And it sets it up nicely
53.
when they return after their interval. There are the highest breaks. Trump yet to make a half century because he made 3 centuries last night. Still time, of course, to find that form, but it's Martin Gould. I think will be the happier of the 2.
60.
Having lost 2 on the sprint.
62.
So things to think about for Trump. Be interesting to see if he heads to the practice table.
65.
As I say, long potting not quite working for him so far, but the form is there generally, we know that. It's just a question of bringing it out this evening. He's the only member of the top 16 in the quarterfinals. He's the favourite to win. But he knows there's still a big job to do before he gets his hand on the trophy. There's a lot of real good players left in this tournament. Here's one of them, Martin Gould,
Martin Gould,
who with that break of 69 has levelled this quarter-final. So an interesting start, and the players all square as they head off for their 15-minute interval. Judd Trump 2, Martin Gould 2.
Well, somewhat reminiscent of this afternoon's encounter where Stuart Bingham was the early leader, but back came Ryan Day. We know how that one finished. Martin Gould is right in this against Judd Trump. We'll back in the studio with analysis next. Thus far, and I mentioned somewhat reminiscent of this afternoon, it has that same feel. Judd Trump perhaps a little frustrated, it's kind of got a bit bogged down, but Martin Gould won't mind that too much now.
No, and Judd hasn't played as well as last night, the way he finished with those 3 centuries. So hard to do. Just come out, wake up the next morning and come out and do it again is so difficult. And, you know, he has struggled a little bit. And Martin started so well. He cued beautifully in the first frame. I think, in general, the confidence we got from his interview is coming out on the table. He looks to be hitting the ball nicely. He lost his way in the middle too. Judd got going. But Judd could have been 3-1 up, like you say, and for Martin's sake and all his fans out there, in winning the 4th frame has kept him in the match and all to play for. You know, you'd think that Judd might be too strong because he's always won close matches when they've played, but Martin is playing well enough at this stage to give himself a chance.
I gather Judd's gone to the practice table. Whether that speaks of frustration, I don't know. Whether he just wants to work on something, Jim, but Martin will be pretty happy.
Yeah, Martin will be happy. I think Judd might just go and loosen up a bit because his cue ball's, you know, he's been out of position a few times, but Judd hasn't really got going yet, you know, so I think Gould has got to deal with that when that happens. Like, Judd's a streaky player, so he might go and win 2 or 3 frames on the trot.
Yeah, I suppose with that kind of player, with Judd's kind of instinctive play, if it's not flowing, I guess that can be irritating.
Yeah, but then you also need to win when you're not flowing as well. And I think, you know, he's kind of taught the interval. I think he'll be over the moon, thinking that, you know, if I do get my spell, then I could easily win 5-2.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. Now, been a fair bit of rest play across those 4 frames. You're quite well known for it. One of those shots, in fact, was almost like having someone's tooth taken out. It was surgical extension. But spider, rest, all sorts. So talk us through the technique, Jim.
Well, when I was a kid learning to play, you learnt to play with the rest and the spider. You know, some people, like, you know, for the spider, you just try and keep your arm level. Only just in, but some people...
That was so good that we missed it because we were watching Martin Gould do his acrobatics, so show me again.
OK. Right, with the spider here, just try and drop the red in. Easy.
So you're talking about...
Never in doubt.
This part of your arm being nice and level.
Strike. Yeah, some players don't like the rest. Tony Drago, for me, is, you know, he just...
Likes to break them over me.
Is that right? Got so frustrated with him. And you said he used to hold his cue, kind of like...
He holds the rest like that, and I've tried to show him because he's a friend of mine, but he's not interested. But some people don't even like the spider, and they put as Martin Gould did, he puts the rest on top of the spider, so it actually feels like you're playing with the rest. Excuse me, mate, I saw it went in. But with Ronnie OSullivan, as he's going to show you, he can play with both hands.
Well, that, I guess, is where you can get past the rest, Ron. You can go down either side of the table and pick hand.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't mind using the rest, but if I was to play a shot like this, right-handed, I'd, you know, over this side here.
Yeah.
As a right-handed player, you couldn't reach that shot.
No.
So rather than get the rest out, I'd just be able to just lean over and just play it like it's a normal shot, which is a little bit of an advantage.
But, I think it's a sizable advantage.
Huge advantage.
Yeah, and is that something that you've always had? Comfortable to be?
No, I was just so poor right-handed. I just thought I felt a bit more comfortable left-handed, and I just started playing left-handed because I enjoyed it more, and the shots felt a bit more stable in the shot. But I realised I couldn't play all matches like that, so I just used to do it just to kind of...
Do you ever have a match against yourself, right against left?
I used to play alternative shots because I thought I was trying to find the right balance, but
you break left-handed all the time, don't you?
I break left-handed, so I get a better... I don't always leave... When I break left-handed, I never leave the shot to nothing, which used to cost me matches against someone like John Higgins. I'd be controlling the match, leave the white here, shot to nothing, he'd pot it, and I wouldn't see a ball for 4 or 5 frames. So the break-off's a really important shot. I don't get him in massive amount of trouble, but they don't pop balls off my break, which is better for me because then I can get into the game a bit more.
Who are the best, apart from Jim, obviously, who are the best rest players?
Well, I have to say that Ronnie, despite the fact that he uses it less because he plays with his left hand, he's one of the best around. I'm not just saying it because he's here. Sean Murphy's very good. He is one of the best around as well of the current day players who needs to on shots from the other side of the table. But this man's pretty good. These two are as good as anybody, actually.
And also, is that because you practice, or you just got an ability with it? Or
you just get used to it. It's part of the, you know, it's part of the game. But there's a few players. Tony Mio used to do it. Trump does it. He's left-handed, but he uses the rest right-handed, doesn't he? Yeah. You know, and
I mean, he occasionally takes a right-handed shot, doesn't he, as we saw?
Yeah, but he's
not much.
He's not like Ronnie. Neil Robertson said he makes 100 breaks.
He did in the lineup.
Yeah, right-handed, but he played a couple against Ronnie and sort of he butchered them, so he prefers to use the rest. But
that's a technical term, by the way.
It's not good when you do that. Butcher them.
No,
it's not good.
No, I should think not. I should think not. That involves a clean-up operation. Thanks, gents. 2-all then. Table. Graham Dott's 3-1 up, having lost the first frame to Stephen Maguire. So Dott in charge of the game of the two Scots. Luca Brissell and Mark Joyce. Seems to be a good quality encounter, some good breaks being made, and 2 each as it stands. And Ryan Day, and of course we heard from earlier, he was the conqueror of Stuart Bingham. He's a 3-1 leader over Kyron Wilson, who finished so late. Only had about an hour in between his 2 matches, and maybe that's a factor. In any case, Ryan Day leads 3 frames to 1. Neil Folds, interesting. You were saying you're just trying to keep half an eye on that Brissell and Joyce match, and it's decent stuff.
It is, and those two have been playing so well. Luca Brissell looked so confident. He was a bit of a swagger after his first match today, and you know, he's a player on the up. And his opponent, Mark Joyce, he said he played the best snooker of his life earlier on, made 2 centuries, and that seems to be continuing into this match. And you can imagine how excited they are in the bottom half of the draw with the way it's opened up, that one of those two could go on and be in the final on Sunday or even win this whole thing.
On last night's evidence from Stephen Maguire, I thought he had a real chance here, but Graham Dott's obviously got other ideas, Jim.
No, obviously Graham Dott's played very well. Apparently, to go 3-1 up, to go 2-1 up, he was 60-odd behind and he cleared up. So it could have been 2 each there. Dott's been 3-1 up, but we forget Dott was world champion and great experience. He's not produced anything for the last couple of seasons, but obviously knows what to do when he gets in a winning situation.
Yeah, and decent crowd here, and obviously they would love a German player to break into the top echelons. Luca Brissell, in terms of a kind of European representative, if that's not a cliche, is the flag bearer at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. You know, coming from Belgium, obviously they'll have a lot of support from the surrounding countries around Europe. See him as one of their own sort of thing. Great talent, got every shot in the book. Just probably needs a little bit more experience, but he's not scared of winning. So when it comes right for him, you know, I'm sure he'll be winning a lot of tournaments.
You mentioned that Judd Trump might think purple patch is just round the corner. I could easily accelerate away here. Well, is that what you see happening?
Yeah, well, same as Luca and Judd, they're the type of players that once they get on one, they'll just steamroller opponents, and even if the opponent has a chance, they'll miss because they're under so much pressure.
OK, thanks very much. Back they go.
Frame 5.
2-2, nicely set up then as Martin Gould gets us back underway. First to 5 to reach the semi-finals here at the Tempodrome. Judd Trump immediately went to the practice table as they left the arena for the interval, hoping for an improvement. The highest break so far, 49. But he has won 2 frames.
Yes, and after going 2-1 up, he'll be disappointed that he didn't go to the interval at 3-1. He had a couple of chances. Martin Gould, I'm sure, he's gone to have his cup of tea and really reflected that he can win this match and possibly the tournament. Big prize on offer for Martin Gould, a chance to get into the top 16. 80,000 for the winner, that would put him in the top 16. Caught it a little thin. That cue ball's going to be coming back down. You only can pop this red to the right corner. And it's not easy to get position. Good position. Good pot.
1.
It just lacked the power to get the right side of the blue. And if you can miss the yellow, you can come back down towards the reds. Yeah, it was a big ball, wasn't it?
Six. Martin Gould 6.
That's a better safety. There's the red just above the pink. You have to catch that very thin. Good reply. But he did that one out nicely.
One.
And that seemed to be a big bounce off the baulk cushion. And it's left him on the green.
Well, it's a good sign if these are going in, because that's only the second long ball he's potted in the match. And this is where strength of character comes in. When your game isn't quite there, it's about how you cope with that. And as I say, went straight to the practice table, hit a few balls, just tried to keep himself sharp during the interval. He knows he's playing well in general, he's just got to bring it out in this match.
Five. Eleven. 12.
I can tell you Graham Dott is now 4-1 up against Stephen Maguire. So, great night so
18.
far for the former world champion.
Yes, and he's another player, David, that can get back into the top 16.
19.
This could be the tournament to do it.
Well, there's about 30 players, maybe more, who probably should be in the top 16. They're good enough, but unfortunately, there's only 16 places.
Yeah, I think there's 5 players, though, that's still left in this
25.
tournament. And if they won it, they would be in the 16.
26.
And they've all got a chance now.
$32. 33.
Those 5 reds surrounding the black. Don't think any of them go.
Sure.
And he's going to need them. Well, at least some of them.
39. $40.
Didn't want the cue
45.
ball there, dead on the cushion. Could have done with a bounce, 2 inches.
$46.
He's seen something here. The middle red must go to that right
52.
corner. And he can play for the black. On the bottom red.
53.
That frees another red into the opposite corner.
Trump's first half century of the evening.
Sure. 60.
So 54 points the difference. The pink would leave Gould needing a snooker. The blue, and he could tie. Well, I'm surprised he's not taking the pink. Needs another red now. But he's nicely on this red.
65.
It's been an excellent break, this.
66.
Three snookers needed. I should make absolutely sure now of this frame.
This is more like it.
73.
Break ends at 73.
Judd Trump, 73.
Judd Trump's first big
And
contribution this evening is enough to restore a one-frame lead. He needs more of the same if he's going to come through, but a good start. After the interval, he leads now by 3 frames to 2. And we'll be back shortly with frame 6. Judd Trump back in front then, 3-2 after that 73 break in frame 5.
6.
He needs 2 more
Trump
to
break.
clinch a semi-final place here at the Tempodrome. Of course, a couple of years ago, he was the runner-up here to Ding Junhui. No one's won this title more than once. Neil Foulds last night was trying to compare it to the Kuzma curse, but I think it might need a little bit of work because this tournament's only been going since 2011. But of course, we're guaranteed a new winner this year.
Did well there. Could so easily have got the cannon to the red. Left a red on. In fact, he did leave that red on. Very close. Just gotta sit and wait. He's playing the green and the yellow looks a natural to come back down to the reds. And also free the pocket for that red.
5.
Now, if you can try and leave an angle on the black to be able to go into the cluster. Got to put everything into the pot now. This is difficult. And just stayed out. Tough shots those to the middle. Yeah, we expected him to get it, but they missed it.
Well, it looked in. I think he thought it was in.
This isn't good. Just about the worst place it could have gone. Maybe able to pot the yellow, but where's the next red coming from?
Yellow ball.
Cue ball's close as well. Oh, he's just pulling out.
Well, here's Graham Dott to win.
3.
On the black in frame 6. In it goes. That's a terrific win for Graham Dott. 5-1 over Stephen Maguire. Bearing in mind how well Maguire played last night against Marcelli. So Graham Dott, the first man into the semi-finals, a 5-1 winner. All that applause won't necessarily have helped Martin Gould. Can't say that he would have potted it well without it.
Very close, but he's left it on. Now does he play for the black? Well, has he left it on? Looks like he may be able to swerve it. I can't see any other shot but just roll into the reds and maybe a stalemate.
A cracking long pig to win the 5th frame against Ryan Gase. 3-2 today. Just a little half sort of clenched fist from Wilson as it went in. He's had a long day already. Beat Michael Holt 5-4 earlier. It looks like a long night in prospect.
Well, I think I'd be suggesting a re-rack here. It's going nowhere, this.
That's the referee, Mikey Kessler. Can at some point step in if she feels she has to, if it does just become tip-tap. In my re-racks, looks like we've got a respot between Luca Brissell and Ryan Day. Sorry, Luca Brissell and Mark Joyce. It's 2-2 in that match. 62 each, and the Blacks come back on.
Well, that's opened things up a little bit.
Brissell tried to double the respotted black, but it stayed out. There'll be a few oohs and ahs from that one, I'm sure, in the next couple of minutes. Well, here is Mark Joyce on the respot next door. And he's done with it. What about that? Fantastic from the Walsall man. He leads 3-2.
Yes, he's considering playing the red into the yellow pocket. Chose to play the safety. He didn't really want to play that shot because it's such an easy shot, this, to put the cue ball back on the black cushion and leave himself in trouble. That's why he didn't want to play the shot. Now that's a bit of trouble now for Martin Gould. It's just a little bit of chess there that Martin saw, but felt he couldn't do anything about. Didn't quite get that cue ball back far enough. And he has left a red to the left middle. It's not a gimme by any means, but I think he'll be taking it on.
9.5 minutes since the ball was potted.
There was a lot of pressure on that shot. Now he's left that red to the middle. Looks like he has. So great chance this for Gould.
One.
Started with a century, 100 exactly in the first frame, had a 69 break in the fourth. The problem, of course, though, always is doing it when the match is tight, particularly towards the business end, towards the winning line.
5.
That's why the real greats of the game are so great. The Stephen Hendrys, Ronnie OSullivans, John Higgins, Steve Davis, who won so many important matches,
6.
often from behind in their careers. Martin Gould, twice the winner of the English Amateur Championship, snooker's oldest tournament, which celebrates its centenary this year. First played in 1916, before there was even a World Professional Championship.
$11.
See, you learn something new every day. I didn't know that.
Well, one of the times he won it, Martin, it was deciding frame of the final, and his opponent went down to the black. His opponent, David Lilly, went in off.
18.
Horrible way to lose.
$19. Pink ball.
Pink will go into that right
25.
corner pocket. Just got to keep that cue ball under control now, and it should be 3 each.
26.
Just got the right side of the blue. Had a difficult pot to the middle. And there's the kick.
$31.
Well, can you believe it? What a chance that was.
31.
So Trump in with his chance, although it's a difficult table, this. 3 reds close to the cushion, so a lot of work to do. And to hit it.
8.
So red to the middle.
Nine. Yeah, sure.
And yet another kick. At least the red went in, and he's still on the colour.
$11. 12.
Well, he had the angle there to stun to that red on
19.
the cushion. Try and push it over the middle pocket and stay on the other red.
$20.
Played to bring the red out. Missed it.
25.
The double not quite on. Oh, that's a
26.
terrific shot. What a great shot that was. I'll tell you how tough that shot was. He refused to play for it, the last shot. And then he misses the pink.
Judd Trump, 26.
At least he missed the red. He was trying to bring that red off the cushion. Now, can this red pop to the middle?
Big moments these, 4-2 or 3-3. Got a bit tense, a few mistakes creeping in. But certainly if Trump could get to 4-2, then you would fancy him killing the match off.
Got to be careful here. He's pushing the red towards that right corner. Caught it much too thick. Is he going to be lucky? Hard to tell from here. Hard to tell from there. Now we know. He tried to bring the green off the cushion. He's faced with another tough one here.
3.
Good pot. Cracking pot.
4.
But he's still going to need that green. Again, he tries to move that green.
Ten.
And finishes off with a snooker.
10.
13 points, the difference.
Yes, very critical stage now, this match, this little encounter here.
Well, not much value in taking the yellow on here. Can't get to the green. Could try and drop him behind the black off the side cushion. And that looks okay. Nicely hit, but needs to slow down. Well, a chance. And the angle's there to try and dislodge the green. Needs to play it with a touch of side.
Two.
Well, his safety play in this frame has been
Judd trump
absolutely
2.
brilliant. Good trumps. Gould's hasn't been bad either.
Yes, I think the safety is the one aspect of Trump's game that has been really good tonight. 90% he's at for the evening.
Just a touch sticking out. You're right. Just needs to land up to this green.
Point is now there's nothing else safe, so it could well be that whoever pots the green wins the frame. Not necessarily the case, but you wouldn't be surprised. Trump, of course, 16 points in front, so he only needs green and brown. Well,
if that's a snooker, it's a really good one. And if it isn't, He's been so unfortunate. How has he not got the snooker there? So, maybe it's just as well he didn't get the snooker. This is a good chance.
Needs all 5 colours to level up once more. Pressure on these, though.
Three.
Well, I thought it was going to be a bad kiss on the blue, but that's not too bad. You should be able to pot this. Good pot.
7.
He needs another one. Again, it wobbled, but it dropped in.
Pink and black required for 3-3. Longest frame of the match, 31.5 minutes. A significant frame, a significant clearance this for Gould. There's been pressure on all of these. We'll level again.
25, 23.
Good clearance that. He had to pot those, and he did. And Judd Trump still can't get away from Martin Gould. All square again here in Berlin. Judd Trump 3, Martin Gould 3. Welcome back to a night of tension at the Tempodrome. Judd Trump and Martin Gould level once more at 3-3. The other matches, well, Graham Dott, of course, has beaten Stephen Maguire 5-1, so Dott will play whoever comes through this match. Ryan Dace 3-2 up against Kyron Wilson, and Mark Joyce, we saw him double the respot to lead 3-2 against Luca Brissell.
It's frame 7. Martin Gould to break.
Well, Gould did well there. That green to black clearance has kept him right in this 3-3.
Refusing the long red. But a good safety again. Lots of right-hand side on the cue ball to avoid the reds. But a chance to open a few reds here. Get that cue ball maybe in behind the green. And if that's what he played, he didn't get enough side on the cue ball. And this is a half chance. These can mean the difference between winning and losing matches. Good pot. But not a good kiss. That's so unfortunate. And the red going down the table has made escaping from the snooker very difficult. He can't play on the yellow, green or brown. He can't hit the pink. It looks like his only option really is to play the black.
He's landed in a world of hurt here, is Gould.
Great pot. Very unfortunate with the kiss.
Black ball.
And not a loss of the black to hit. 1 foot on the floor. Excellent shot. And he deserved that.
We were expecting fireworks from these two great potters of going for their shots. It's not quite transpired, but it's been engrossing. Just a question of whether Trump can raise his game to the standard he produced last night, when it really matters towards the end of the match. If he doesn't, then he is vulnerable here.
Yes, well, effectively it's a best of 3 now, and you must think that he's got a chance, Martin Gould. He knows he's playing well when he's in amongst the balls. Nothing wrong with his bottle, as he showed at the end of that last frame. And as long as he keeps getting that cue ball there, he's in control of this frame. Gradually, the reds will open up. And he's looking at the possibility of a plant here. And he's got it. So another good chance this for Gould. And they decide to go into the reds here. It's such a good angle. Nice angle on the black to go into them. And if it works out, every chance. Well, he did decide to go into them, and he's unfortunate. I'm saying unfortunately, still got that red in the middle pocket. I'm sure he'd have liked to have been down this end of the table.
Sure. 9. Twelve. Thirteen. Nineteen.
Pink spot held, so it goes down onto the brown spot.
20.
He just seems to be playing with that belief in himself. And he's got a great chance here to go 4-3 up.
25.
Yes, let's not forget in the first round here this week he beat Mark Williams in a decider. And then last night he beat Ben Wollaston 5-0. Wollaston, of course, had knocked out Sean Murphy.
$26.
Again, just got a little kick there, potting that red to the centre. Would have liked to have been a little closer to the black.
Ryan Day has gone 4-2 in front against Karen Wilson.
$34.
Well, that's a little careless if he's left himself straight or the wrong side on the blue. That means the next red, unless he takes the pink or the green, it's going to be difficult. Brown looks to be in the way of powering the blue in. So it's the pink. Great pot. Needs to slow down though, or kiss. Oh, well, put everything into the pot, which you had to
40.
do at the expense of the position. .41 points in front. Maybe just push the red to the cushion. Try and play in behind the brown.
Martin Gould 40.
Took just a little thin, that cue ball. Coming back down the table. Hard to see what kind of an angle he's got on this red. Just when he needed a good safety shot. Plays a loose one.
One.
Just held. So another good chance this for Gould.
Could this finally be the week that Martin Gould breaks through and wins a ranking title? He's certainly good enough. He's come close a couple of times, not least, of course, in Australia at the start of the season against John Higgins when he lost on a decider. A couple of setbacks here and there. Of course, the UK Championship was a massive one in the semis against David Grace when he lost from 5-1 up. Because the good news these days in this era of snookers is there's always another tournament just round the corner where you can put things right. Maybe this is the one for Martin Gould.
17.
He's getting there. 65 with the black, just needs one more red. And he's got the angle to play the cannon to the middle of those reds if he wants to.
Yeah.
Well, again, he got a kick and that took the pace out of the cue ball. And it's made this red to the middle just that little bit more difficult. Just needs the red though. Oh, so close.
Nothing on 24.
He got away with it. There is a red by the pink spot. But that's much tougher than the red to the right centre. That was so close to going in, but just caught that near knuckle. Yeah, there was a lot of pressure on that shot.
Well, this frame's gone now, surely. And Trump, you can see he's not happy. The form that he showed last night, he has not shown tonight, and that's been the bugbear for him this season. Remember how well he played against Neil Robertson? The Masters in the quarter-final. Couldn't have played any better, really. And then the next day in the semis, couldn't reproduce it.
Yes, had that red gone in, he had every chance there of pinching this frame.
6.
But just found the angles of the pocket.
So Gould's going to be 4-3 up.
7.
He's going to be one frame away from the semi-finals.
You know what they say about that last frame, David. It's always the hardest to win.
Well, this is where inevitably people will start bringing up
10.
matches where he's been in front, not least, of course, against Trump last year at the World Grand Prix when he led 5-1, lost 6-5. But he's playing pretty well here, and it's a bit different being one frame in front rather than having a big lead and panicking in case you don't convert it. He has every reason to fancy the job now, Gould. He's looking the better player of the two.
16.
Yeah, I agree.
17.
He looks the cooler of the two.
24.
Oh, what about that? Superb shot.
25.
His own Brandon Naughty snooker, it would seem.
Yes, he's got every shot in the book.
30.
So Martin Gould, for the first time since he won the opening frame of this quarter-final, is in front, and Judd Trump has it all to do. It's Gould who leads by 4 frames to 3. Welcome back. We're just waiting for the two players, Judd Trump and Martin Gould, to return. It's 4-3 to Gould. Of course, Graham Dock's beaten Steve Maguire 5-1. And in the other matches, Mark Joyce is 4-2 up against Luca Brissell, and it's 4-2 to Ryan Day over Karen Wilson. Match stats, I think the most glaring stat there is the long potting from Trump, 17%. Used to him being much, much higher than that. His pot success still mid-80s. Safety's been good, but just hasn't been making the breaks tonight. His highest, 73, that's his only half-century. Gould, of course, had the century in the first frame, although probably the most significant break he's made tonight was the green to black clearance to win the 6th and stay in it at 3-3. And you could see in the next frame his body language, the confidence. Here's young Luca Brissell from Belgium. He was a semi-finalist at the Welsh Open last season. That's the stage he's trying to get to, of course, here in Berlin. But he's 4-2 down to Joyce. Mark Joyce, who's beat Mark Allen in the opening round. And beat Mark King this afternoon. There's Karen Wilson in the background in his seat watching this match, but Ryan Day at the table in their one. 4-2 also there to Ryan Day. There's a journalist here from Belgium who's covering Luca's progress. And here is the other match we were talking about. You can see they're 4-2 today, and he's slightly behind, but at the table. Well, he's missed the pink, actually, as we go to it there. So we shall see. Karen Wilson, of course, Shanghai Masters champion this season. It's wide open, this tournament. Judd Trump was the favourite coming into the quarter-finals, but, of course, he's a frame from defeat right now. Has to be said, though, the elimination of most of the star names has not deterred the audience. There's a good crowd in. Come to watch snooker. Of course, they have their favourites, but it's the game that they really love. Tomorrow, there'll just be one table here when it gets really serious. Just waiting for Judd Trump to return. They'll have a lot of fans here, I'm sure, hoping that he forces the decider. Here he comes. Needs to make something happen, though, otherwise his German Masters adventure is over.
Frame 8. Judd Trump to break.
So Trump to break, and he needs a good one. Can't afford to leave a red sticking out. And that's good. Little tap on the table from Gould. Oh, he's caught it too thick. His left red's on. Unfortunately, I think he's covered the black. Trump's had a look to see if the pink will go to the middle.
31.
So he gets a chance.
Three. Four. Nine. Ten. Fifteen. Sixteen.
Just travelled a little further than he wanted.
Nineteen. 20.
It was the thick safety shot that he played. Didn't get the cue ball back to baulk. Nice little cannon to the red to leave him on this red.
Six.
Having to concentrate on the blue, black and pink, out of commission.
Thirty-one. 32.
I think we'll go to that left middle. But he wanted just a slight angle to be able to play the cannon to the red. Just like that. Now, he doesn't look happy. And the reason why is because if the pink spot's held, the pink will go behind the red and put him out of position. So very unfortunate. So Martin Gould will be coming back to the table.
Judd from 38.
Luca Purcell's pulled one back, so he now trails 4-3 to Mark Joyce.
bend round the green slightly. Couldn't have played it any better. Excellent shot. Brought the black into play, and he's left the red on, has he? It's just run on, but there is a red to the left corner.
60.
And if ever he needed a good pot, Martin Gould, this is it. Good pot.
So Martin Gould is in with a chance here. And the frame he needs to reach the semi-finals. And of course the key to it, Joe, and the hardest thing is to try and forget that it is the frame he needs to reach the semi-finals.
Exactly. And it's very difficult to put that thought out of your mind. Let's try and put a few balls together and forget about it.
5.
He's just overrun a little bit there. I think he was trying to leave an angle on the black to move the red off the black spot. In actual fact, he was absolutely spot on.
12. Thirteen.
He's going to play the cannon into the 3 reds. He always knew he was going to be on this red to the left middle.
20.
But a little harder would have been nice. No. Well, that was
Martin
a great
Gould,
chance.
20. Yeah.
Well, it may have been a kick, that last pot he attempted.
1.
Doesn't need that safe red on the cushion. Martin Gould would have done. It looks like we're going to a decider.
7. 8.
Yes, it didn't sound a very healthy contact, the red that Gould took onto the middle.
No, that's not the best shot he's ever played. Still needs both of these reds.
15.
Good recovery. Needs to miss the brown.
16.
He's hanging on somehow. He's going to need the yellow and the next red.
$18. 19.
Well, he could have done with a colour. We have to take the blue on. 37 points the difference, so just one snooker. He'd like to pot the blue and make it 2 snookers. That eases the pressure a little. Martin Gould will still play on, I'm sure.
24.
But 2 snookers now gives him, Trump that is, a little bit of breathing space. Oh, and that
seals it. Well, over the course of the evening, he's not played his best snooker, but the evening's not over yet. He's ensured we're going to get a decider. He still has a chance to reach the semi-finals. And maybe this is where past meetings
30.
between them do come into play. The head-to-head coming in 6-1 to Trump.
Judd Trump, 30.
We're going to need one more frame to decide who goes through to the semi-finals on Saturday. Judd Trump hanging on in there. He levels up at 4 frames each. We'll be back after the break, live with the decider. The handshake before the decider, Judd Trump and Martin Gould locked together at 4 frames all. It's all on this next frame.
Thank you. It's a deciding frame.
To decide who reaches the semis. Martin Gould
break.
has the responsibility to break off.
not always a good thing. But that's a good break-off. Needed one. Pushed the red over the corner, and the full ball kiss on the yellow gives Martin Gould the first chance. And this looks good. That's all you say to yourself in a decider. Just give me one chance.
Well, it's what he didn't really have against Higgins in that Australian Open deciding frame. Higgins made a big break to kill it off. He's got one here, it's Gould.
6. Seven.
He's potted the black, so he trails 4-3 now to Ryan Day. It's also 4-3, of course, to Mark Joyce over Luca Brissell.
$13. $18.
Well, He's had a good look at this pink to see if it goes into the left corner. If it does, it's plain sailing. And it does.
20.
He's played for it.
$26. $27.
Took the harder red there for position. He's got a choice to make here. Could play for that loose red, or he could try and open the reds up. Chose to go into them, and that was the brave shot of the two, and he's on one.
32.
Well, it shows us he's trying to win this match.
Oh. He knew
33.
as soon as he'd hit it too hard. What a big shot this is. If it goes in, is a chance of winning.
It's going to have to go in.
Yeah, well played. And another very brave shot from Martin Gould.
Well, every credit, because that could have been his last shot if he'd have missed it.
39.
Again, trying to win. He's not worrying about possibly losing. He sees that this is the chance to put himself in the semi-finals.
Oh, has he lost the cue ball?
40.
I think he has. He potted the red in the left-hand side of the pocket. And I think he's just lost the cue ball. He's not on the pink. Look at this again. The cue ball, the red goes in off the left side of the pocket. If it goes in the middle of the pocket, he's on the pink. So a let-off. Judd Trump. He'll be coming back to the table.
Blue ball.
Well, I expected him to put
Martin
the
Gould, 40.
blue to the side cushion there.
So Martin Gould leads the decider 40-0. Just didn't get position for the pink.
He's looked at the possibility of a plant here. Oh, and he's got it. Can you see the blue? The green's a lot tougher. What about this for a shot? He looked at the possibility of the plant. Now Martin may have wished he'd put the blue safe.
Judd Trump, 1.
he refused the green to the middle in favour of the snooker. Well, he could try and land up to the red, that's on that left cushion. He's thinking of landing up to the 2 reds to the right of the black, but if he gets that one wrong, he leaves the red to the left corner. He's misjudged that one completely.
Foul.
I think he was trying to hit the red closest to
Judd
the left
Trump
corner
4.
pocket. So Judd Trump gets a chance.
Well, in some ways, it would be more impressive if he could win now than the way he won last night. OK, he made all the big breaks, but to win when you're not at your best is a skill in itself, not one every player has. Gould has had a chance, broke down on 40. Now he's in his seat,
6.
wondering what Trump's going to make here.
Seven.
He's got the angle on the pink to play the cannon to the black. But it's risky to play that shot. But he's played it. And he's unfortunate. Could have just dropped the pink in for the red. The loose red. Everything inside him wants to take this red onto the left middle. But if he missed it, it would certainly be end of match. He's taking it on. Oh, what a shot that was at that speed. What a great shot. That's the shot of the championship so far. At that speed into the middle pocket. And the brown wasn't easy. Surely he's not going to get the cover. He got the cover.
18.
Well, that's incredible. That is incredible. Great brown. Deserved to be on the reds, but you don't always get what you deserve.
Judd Trump, 18.
Well, disappointing for Trump, having plotted that cracking red into the middle. So Gould, 17 in front. A tense finish to a tense match here.
Big shot, this. And slightly hampered over the yellow. Well, chose the safety shot, but didn't play it well. Yes, that's a great pot. But he's not on a colour. So just the snooker. But it could be a really important snooker.
Round ball. Martin Gould 1.
Well, he surely just can't afford to leave one on here. Gould already 18 in front, looking for one more chance.
Foul. Miss. Martin Gould 4.
Can't afford to catch this red full in the face.
Foul. Miss. Martin Gould 4.
This time Gould didn't get out of his seat before asking for the white to go back. He's got Trump in trouble here.
That's better. But can't afford to catch it full in the face. And that has given Gould a chance, a golden chance.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure what was going to happen after the kiss on the red. So close. Had that pink gone in,
Martin Gould 1.
he was in the semi-final. He's going to have to wait.
One.
This isn't a straightforward clearance, though. The blue's safe. The yellow's not ideal. to slide past the red.
8. Judd trump 8.
Now, has he got the snooker? He preferred the pot. Confirmation.
It's been a sort of match where things have gone awkward quite a few times. There've been some bad contacts, other times players just not getting an ideal position. That wasn't a straightforward pot. But this is still wide open. Gould in front by 19, but snookered on this red. Down the swerve. Oh, what a touch. What a touch he's had on the ground there. That's incredible. Oh, that could be massive, Joe.
Yes. Had it kissed the pink, the cue ball, he'd have left the red on, or a chance at it. But it kissed the brown. And Trump in big trouble. He says sorry, but he's delighted. And that kiss, that double kiss, has surely put Judd Trump out of this quarter-finals.
Well, a huge bit of luck, it's got to be said, for Gould, but it's also got to be said Trump has not produced anywhere like the performance he did last night when he had 3 centuries, or indeed on the first night against Ali Carter.
One.
Still needs the yellow.
Yes, but it looks like he's got a nice angle on the pink, just to stun past the brown. It could have been a little straighter on this yellow.
7.
Well, while the referee cleans the cue ball, let me just tell you that Luca Brissell's made it 4-4 with Mark Joyce, so they're heading into a decider as well. Still 4-3, Ryan Day up on Karen Wilson. Martin Gould needs this yellow, Judd Trump needs a snooker.
Had the cue ball cleaned. Doesn't want to get a kick at this stage. But this is still a tough yellow. He's got to stay absolutely still on the shot here and just drop it in. Yeah, good shot.
9.
And he's nicely on the green. Well, the last member of the top 16 standing is going to be knocked out here. Judd Trump was the favourite coming into the quarter-finals. But it's going to be Martin Gould heading into the semi-finals. Big disappointment for Trump. Couldn't keep his performance going. And his run ends in the last 8.
16.
Could this be the weekend Martin Gould finally comes good on the big occasion? Been promising to do it for quite a few years, but this result will give him so much confidence. Judd Trump preparing for a swift exit. So Martin Gould wins the decider, and Martin Gould puts himself in the semi-finals. A dramatic evening, a dramatic finish. Judd Trump, the tournament favourite, is out, and Martin Gould is into the last 4. He had a bit of luck at the end, fluking that snooker, but he'll be delighted with the result. And Martin Gould into the semi-finals. He's beaten Judd Trump 5-4.
Well, this tournament continues to surprise. Well played, Martin Gould. That was nip and tuck towards the end, but he got it done. The potter from Pinner held his nerve and found a way to win. Excellent yellow, which was, you feel, the key ball. Ran that in with great assurance, really, given what had gone before. Match that seesawed at times, even in that last frame. Trump will feel frustrated. It's a long time since such a group of lesser-known players, really, will contest what looks like the final four. 2 games still ongoing in the auditorium, but certainly Martin Gould through to the final four. Very, very well done to him. And he will be back tomorrow lunchtime with us here on Eurosport to take on Graham Dott. That's the first of the semi-finals, that from 12:45 lunchtime here on Eurosport 2. Hopefully we'll get a word with Martin shortly. Ronnie, Jimmy and Neil glued to that. It was nip and tuck. Weren't sure quite where that was going to go, Ron.
I thought it was a good match, you know. Gouldy, great QS, great break builder, made some good breaks there, but best shot of the match there for him really was the last yellow, because if he misses it, he leaves it over the hole, and with his history of losing matches from having leads, that would have hurt, you know. So for him, psychologically, that's a massive match to do it against a top player as well. Yeah. Game of nerve, I suppose, frame 9 there, Jimmy, particularly for Martin.
Absolutely, he had a couple of chances. He had a pink in the middle, wasn't easy, but it was a pressure ball, a ball that you've got to get, and he'd be pleased to have got over the line. He can now go and win the tournament now.
Really? Makes
well, because
all the
know,
difference.
He just needed to get like a win over the hole here.
He was in the balls here, you know. He played a good plant. This red in the middle,
it was unbelievable red.
I mean, like, you've got no right to pop a ball like that.
Yeah.
And then this pink here, this was a pressure shot. And when he missed this, I thought, you know what?
The chance is gone.
It's one of them games.
Shredsville.
I mean, this here is he's got a bit lucky here, but he's still got a good connection on the red.
Yeah.
Little hand out there as a bit of an apology. I bet he wasn't saying sorry inside though.
No.
Good hit, but then obviously, you know, he's left the red.
Yeah.
And
he made sure this yellow, he had the ball cleaned, you know, he just needed the yellow. It was a natural for the green.
Yeah.
Game over.
Yeah. Actually, that showed good presence of mind, Faulty, to go and sit down, get it clean, compose himself, have a drink. You know, it would have been easy to rush into that shot, I imagine.
Yeah, he was nervous because things have gone wrong for him before. No one deserves it more than a win like this. And this tournament is blown apart now because, courtesy of Matt, the Pro Snooker blog man, is one of the game's great bloggers, he is now saying the 1991 European Open was the last time there wasn't a top 16 player in the semi-final. So he's been scouring. I asked him to look through it. He's found it. And it was Tony Jones, Brady Golan, Cliff Thorburn, and the wonderful Mark Johnson-Allen, who's now an MC in the game. All these guys... and that was the last time. No one in the 16 ever got through. Well, so that's a stat that snooker people like, anyway.
That is high praise coming from you. You're a bit of a stats man yourself, so to be handing out that kind of praise, 1991.
That's what we're saying. If anyone's got any other ideas, that seems to be the last time. There's always a 16 player in these full-blown ranking events. Happened in a few of the PTC events over the years, but not ranking events of this magnitude. It's just gone wide open because these guys, you know, didn't make it.
No, Ronnie only had 6 centuries to his name back in 1991.
No, listen, I mean, these guys are playing week in, week out. They're double sharp, over a best of 9. You know, there is no player out there like Hendry was in the 90s, Davis was in, you know, but where they were just... That's such a...
Domineering.
Yeah, you know.
Dominating.
You got Judd, you got Neil, you got Selby, you got Ding, you know, but these guys are capable of beating anybody.
Well played, Martin.
Cheers, thank you.
Enjoy that? Can you enjoy that kind of game? Only when it's over?
Yeah, when it's over, definitely. It was very nerve-wracking. Table, because I hadn't played on the match table so far, it played completely different to the tables out the back. A lot quicker, a lot more reactive, a lot slidey. I know I made 100 in the first frame, but it still felt like it took me most of the match to get adjusted to the table. Yeah, and just I guess it was partly the way the match went in frames. Well, 8 and 9, the last 2 frames, the way it swung both ways a couple of times, really, it must have been hard on the nerves. It was indeed, like making 40 in the decider, and all I had to do was just play a simple stun shot, and I've not hit it too hard, I've just potted it just into the pocket a little bit different to how I would have liked, and it just meant the cue ball come out a bit further and no shot at the pink. Yeah. So. And when the boys were saying to go and sit down and get the white clean before the yellow, which was clearly the pivotal moment in that last frame, just had to just take a moment. Well, just to take a moment, but obviously you don't want that dreaded kick to happen at that one time, because you just I'm sure Ronnie would have done the same thing, got the cue ball clean, same as Jimmy. Any normal pro would have got cue ball clean just before that final shot. Just give yourself a few extra seconds, deep breath, and go from there.
I think a shot like that is a bit like a rugby player when they've got Johnny Wilkinson hitting the ball. You set yourself up for it. It's one shot. It's going to win him or lose him the match. So the right thing to do was to compose himself and just put everything into that shot. And he played it, you know, played it the right way. He didn't slam it, stun it, or try and get safe. He committed to it, and that's what I think you need to do under that sort of pressure.
Graham Dott, tomorrow lunchtime. It's a strange tournament in the way that it's been kicking out the big names before it started, and certainly since it started. But the frame of mind you're in, the snooker you're playing, why not, eh?
Yeah, I'm enjoying myself, so long may it continue. It's going to be another tough match tomorrow afternoon, but I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you've earned the right. You've earned the right. You'll be back on that match table.
Yeah, I'm going to look forward to the one-table setup for a semi-final, because I've not played in a one-table setup here before, so I'm going to enjoy that experience.
Well played, and we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Yeah,
Enjoyed that very much, mate. Thank you very much.